Rock and Roller Coaster Starring the Muppets opens May 26th at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Here are all the new details, including the soundtracks you'll hear on the attraction and my initial reaction to hearing the source audio for this attraction for the first time. It's Thursday, April 16th, and we just learned today from Disney Parks blog that Rock and Roller Coaster, which amazingly only closed down as Rock and Roller Coaster Starring Aerosmith a month ago, is opening up next month, May 26th, as Rock and Roller Coaster Starring the Muppets. We have the new soundtracks that we know what will be playing on the attraction and some more details about cameos and other fun details for this attraction. So let's dive into some of the details. First, this quote from Disney Parks blog. Starting May 26th, the legendary ride roars back to life with a rock-charged remix that drops guests straight into the middle of the Electric Mayhem's biggest night yet. With high-speed thrills, a pulse-pounding soundtrack, and a VIP list like no other, this reimagined attraction hits all the right notes. The Electric Mayhem is going to be playing for one night only for this story. They're headlining the most buzzworthy concert Hollywood has ever seen, and the Muppets will get to see, including Animal, are Dr. Teeth, Animal, Floyd, Jen, Zoot, and Lips are ready to rock the house, and everyone who's anyone will be there. But there's just one problem: the band is nowhere to be found. Your VIP tour kicks off inside G-Force Records, an iconic rock and roll recording studio where the magic and mayhem is just getting started. Now let's dive into some of the cameos we're going to see in the queue experience and through the merch shop. So they shared some of this on Disney Parks blog. Head there and see some of the photos, because you're going to see cameos like Aquafina posing with Beaker, as well as Danny Trejo posing with Kermit, Darren Criss with Rolf, and then just to run down some of the others: John Stamos, Neil Patrick Harris, Travis Barker, Yvette Nicole Brown, Wayne Brady, and Weird Al Yankovic. Love that Weird Al is making a cameo here too. And as I said, there's a new set list that was announced. Disney teased out one at a time. A week ago, they discussed or announced that Song 2, originally performed by Blur, is going to be performed by the Electric Mayhem. And yesterday, they announced that Born to Be Wild, originally performed by Steppenwolf, will be performed by the Electric Mayhem featuring Camilla the Chicken. Here are the three new ones that were dropped today to complete the set list. Love Roller Coaster, performed by the Electric Mayhem featuring Jennifer Hudson and Questlove. Rock Rock Till You Drop, performed by the Electric Mayhem featuring Def Leppard. And last but not least, Walking on Sunshine, performed by the Electric Mayhem featuring Kelly Clarkson. Disney Parks blog says each song brings its own energy, tempo, and attitude, creating a concert-style experience where the soundtrack doesn't just play, it goes from 0 to 60 in 3, 2, 1. And like any great show, the fun doesn't stop with the final note. We heard the band's been working on some bonus tracks, and that is something I had predicted, because now with this Muppets rendition of Rock and Roller Coaster, this attraction has the ability to update from time to time with some limited edition soundtracks or changes to the soundtracks over time, because the Muppets are now the catalyst to introduce new rock and roll hits or old classic rock and roll hits into the experience. I can only imagine what they have in store. And stay tuned, because there are going to be previews for cast members, eligible Disney Vacation Club members, and annual pass holders that will be announced soon. That's the major news. I want to now transition into two audio clips. The first audio clip you're going to hear is from my first time hearing the soundtracks, the first two that were announced, those being in order, Born to Be Wild and Song 2. I'm listening to them on headphones. The source audio, not the original songs, the source audio you will hear on Rock and Roller Coaster. I was not allowed to play the music for you, but I want you to hear my reactions to listening to this for the first time. I tried to sort of narrate my feelings as I was listening to it. That's a quick 2-minute clip. Then we're going to have about a 10-minute clip that includes Kelly from KMV Travel, because I was given the great opportunity to bring her along with me. So she also got to hear those initial soundtracks. And while we didn't at that point know the news about the opening date or about what the last three soundtracks were going to be, we did sit down at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa as we were waiting for the next media opportunity that day, which I will have in an episode coming out very soon. And we discussed what our initial thoughts were for hearing those two soundtracks, what we think the attraction is going to be like. And there's a lot in there that wasn't even announced in Disney Parks blog that we are predicting the experience will be. And then stay tuned at the end as I wrap up this episode. So let's head into those two audio clips from yesterday. I hope you enjoy. So I'm here sampling the new songs for Rock and Roller Coaster Starring the Muppets. I'm going to hear two songs. I'm excited to check them out. Let's play them. Okay, yeah, go ahead. So I can picture the track in my head as this is happening, the actual launch. And this is Born to Be Wild, which is such a great song. I can hear Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem. Here we go, we're about to go down. Oh man. This is a rock and roll hit for sure. Oh, with the corkscrew, I can picture that. Oh. Animal is talking. Animal's banter is incredible. Okay, here comes song two. Song two is literally song two. The woohoo with the launch. And then into the inversions. Oh. This is such a perfect fit for the attraction. Animal again. I love Animal's banter in both of these versions of the songs. These are going to be such perfect fits for the attraction, and I can't wait to hear what the other songs are going to be. Incredible, incredible. Okay, so we just got an incredible preview of Rock and Roller Coaster Starring the Muppets at the House of Blues at Disney Springs, which is such an appropriate place. We were in the Voodoo Room, yes. And thanks to Disney Parks for inviting us to attend this. We had the chance to experience the first two songs, the first two soundtracks for the new experience opening this summer at a date to be determined. It seems like it's going to be soon, though.
Fingers crossed.
It's moving along. I was looking at the construction when we were there a few days ago, and the upside-down limo seems to be painted. They're starting work on the guitar. Mm-hmm. And because it's a reskin of Rock and Roller Coaster, they're not installing new track or anything. It seems like they could turn this around pretty quickly.
I think so. Yeah, I hope so. It's going to be a good part of the summer, so I'm excited for it to launch. Yeah,
that's good. You know, it was great that we had the chance to listen to not just the original songs, but the source audio soundtracks for, again, the first two songs they announced. Both of them performed by Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. One of them being song 2, originally by Blur, and the other, which we just announced as we went to this media event today, we just found out about today, was Born to Be Wild, originally by Steppenwolf. But again, both of these performed by Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem. What were your initial thoughts listening to these? We got, headphones. We got to really immerse ourselves in the experience, sort of close our eyes and picture what it would be like on the attraction. So what did you think hearing those?
I think I had the same thought that everyone had. One, it was just so fun, and it was exactly like what you wanted it to be. I think the way they have, Disney does so great at they're getting every sense when you do something. And even with just seeing the poster art and the music, I still felt like this just all fits so well. And I could imagine myself on Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets, just getting ready, holding my head back and getting ready to go with both of the songs. So I'm even more excited after hearing the two songs.
I remember when they first announced this refurbishment, this transformation, whatever you want to call it, and I had hoped and envisioned, one, the fact that we would probably get covers of classic rock and roll songs by Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, which also means that over time, this attraction can now evolve. They can add new songs, they can have limited time special songs recorded by Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, but also it adds an element of humor. And I remember saying to my cousins, as we were sitting in Los Angeles traffic on a recent trip, talking about the ideas that we had, and I said, so first of all, on my wish list is Animal doing the countdown. But not really doing the count, not just doing the countdown, but being like, you know, maybe like Dr. Teeth says, like, you know, 5, 4, 3, let's go, let's go, let's go. And just like, you know, then just, but getting to hear, you hear the banter from the performers, from the Muppets. But Animal, his banter on the attraction adds humor and it adds an element of thrill to it. Who doesn't get hyped up by Animal in their ears, you know, on these speakers behind your ears on Rock and Roller Coaster, in our case on headphones? So it has turned out, or is turning out, exactly as I had hoped it would. And I know there were so many fans of the original Rock and Roller Coaster Starring Aerosmith, myself included. I became an Aerosmith fan because of that attraction. I was I was like 10 years old when the attraction came out. So it was those prime years. Who was Aerosmith? I hadn't heard of them before. Getting to hear their songs, and then I eventually went to Aerosmith concerts because I really loved the band. But even having that nostalgia for it, I feel like this attraction is going to be so much better.
I think
and you can still introduce Aerosmith too. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that I think what's so cool about this is it's going to introduce a whole new audience, exactly like it did for you and I, to Aerosmith, to all these other artists. And people are going to be like, well, kids will probably be like, I thought the Muppets sang that song, like when your parents show it. I'm like, it's going to be just such a cool experience. I love it.
It's all of the Rock Band and Guitar Hero music that we love on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. So we heard song 2 and Born to be Wild. The first one was Born to be Wild, and then they played song 2 for us. Do you have a favorite between the two of those?
I think I like song 2.
Me too.
Yeah. Which I was kind of surprised about, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever heard that song before.
Really?
I know. I'm like, oh. But it just kind of like embodies what I feel like Rock and Roller Coaster is. Like, it's fun, you're just like pedal to the metal, literally. I think it just fits it perfectly.
It does.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, I agree. Song 2 is my favorite between the two.
Yeah.
Born to be Wild, iconic song, and you can picture, especially because there are lyrics involving, like, you know, being on the highway and things like that, like you could just picture like being in a limo car going to the Muppets concert.
Yes.
And it fitting so perfectly with it. But there's something about the music of song 2. And as soon as they announced it last week on Disney Parks blog, I said, okay, woohoo, that part of the song at the beginning is definitely going to be the launch, because how perfectly does that fit when you listen. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to that song, because when you hear the woohoo, that high-pitched one, like, it just fits that feeling you get in your stomach as you are going down that launch tunnel. And when we heard it and then they started with that, I said, this is exactly how the ride should start. And there's another part later in the song that I can picture the timing in my head would go with the corkscrew in the middle. And you just can tell that they thought, of course, so methodically about the song choices and how they fit with the track design, that as you're going down a hill, or as you're going through a corkscrew or an inversion or going through the launch, that the song is going to time well with that G-force sensation, whether it's being lifted in the air or being pushed down your seat or going around a turn. And the only thing I like more about Born to be Wild is there's what was like 20 seconds of animal banter at the
Yes.
end with him just going on a rant about how he's born, loves to be wild. So, that fits perfectly for Animal. You could just, I got a lot of joy out of being at that event and hearing the soundtracks that we're going to get, and it gets me excited for the other soundtracks we're going to hear.
So do you think, because everyone has a favorite, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Break, or
Song
Cosmic
2
Rewind.
is going to be the favorite between these two.
I was going to say.
It is.
Yeah.
It definitely, because of that woohoo launch, that alone, but then the rest of the song fits really perfectly. There's another woohoo moment in the middle. I think it defines the sensations of the attraction perfectly.
Definitely.
So that is probably going to be the favorite between those two. But now I'm genuinely curious what the other songs are going to be. I don't know. But I'm excited to hear what they are.
Yes, me too.
I wish I were still 20-something and didn't have the same motion sickness I have now, because I wish I had this when I was in those prime roller coaster riding years. Maybe I'll take some heavy medication and try to experience it. But I was excited about that. And then I'm also curious to see what this updated pre-show is going to be like. And I was just checking, I don't know if you saw, because we literally just went right from the event to Grand Floridian. But Disney Parks posted some shots of the ends of the attraction if you remember, when you exit the ride, you had Aerosmith performing on that screen as you made it to the concert, and they showed photos of Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem performing, and they confirmed now going to be the end experience as you exit the attraction and enter the gift shop.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, because I think so much of Rock and Roller Coaster Starring Aerosmith was the experience you had in the queue, the pre-show, the exit, and they're really not losing that with this. So I'm excited. Just seeing the art that they have for the posters, I feel like it's going to be so fun to see those, because they're going to play on so many different things that are just going to make you chuckle as you walk by.
It definitely will.
Exactly. It's joy. That is what it's going to be. Yeah.
Any other thoughts or things you have on your wish list that you're hoping will end up at the experience?
So I feel like if, this is Muppets, how are we going to get Miss Piggy in for her moment? Are we going to get her at all? That's what I'm interested to see.
She's in the concept art.
Yeah.
So you would think, what would be the perfect song for Miss Piggy?
Oh gosh, it's got to be like Material Girl, or I feel like that, a Madonna song for sure.
Madonna. I'm trying to think of some rock and roll hits, maybe by heart, like Barracuda.
That'd be a good one.
I don't know. It's also got a natural voice.
Janis Joplin, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of ways they can go, but if we get a Miss Piggy song,
I will just be laughing the whole time. There's no way.
I don't know if we'll get any other characters. It seems like the majority of these are going to be Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, but maybe Miss Piggy will make an appearance in the pre-show.
That's what I'm thinking. How could you not have
She
her, right?
has VIP tickets to this concert, naturally.
For sure.
She's wondering why she's not performing.
That's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That would be a good way.
They'll fit her in there somehow.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll know more in a few months, but it was great to get to experience this preview. Thanks again to Disney for inviting us to get to hear these, and let me know your thoughts about what you're hoping to see, and what you think of these song choices for Rock and Roller Coaster Starring the Muppets.
That's it for this Imagination Skyway news episode. Thank you for listening and subscribing to the show. Remember, you can get ad-free episodes and bonus content by heading to patreon.com/Imagination Skyway and subscribing to the show on that platform. Plus, if you are ready to book a trip to Disney because you now know the opening date for Rock and Roller Coaster Starring the Muppets and maybe you want to check it out too, of course, reach out to our partners and sponsors at KMV Travel. Kelly is the owner of that agency. You heard her in this episode, and you can get started with them at kmvtravel.com/Skyway. Thank you so much for listening to the show, and remember to keep moving forward.